finally. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. How are you all doing this fine Wednesday? So far, so good around here. I hope everything is going great in your part of the world. Paul's here. Paul, you beat me. Good morning, Paul. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Sorry I had a little bit of a delay this morning. When I went to set up the iPad, it said it had an update. So it tried to install the update and it was taking forever, and I ended up having to restart it and get it to stop. But we're here. A little delayed. Again, I apologize. I didn't mean to keep you waiting. Neptunes is here. Neptune says hello all. What's up, man? Robert's here. Robert says hello, people. Hello, Robert. What's going on? Neptune says, yeah, it's about time. Sorry about that. Sorry. I can't blame it on the internet necessarily, although the internet was trying to give this thing an update. But Paul says, oh, to Neptune, sup? Gina's here. Good morning. Gina says, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too, from not very far away. And Brian's here. Brian says, hello, Jeff and everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing great. Roshan is here. Roshan says, hi. Good morning. Neptune says, hello, Gina. Right on, guys. Right on. Yeah, I wasn't sure how this was going to work today, because we're getting a little bit of a wintry weather going on out there. We got some snow blowing around and some decent winds, and sometimes that affects our internet, but yeah, initial tests showed that, well, it seemed like everything was working. So hopefully, I got fingers crossed that everything holds out. It's a little chilly out here this morning, so you'll see I'm kind of bundled up. I got my overalls on and everything, but that's all right. It's not horrible in here, and we got hot coffee, so we're good to go. Let's see here. Paul says we have wintry weather here in Texas. Also, it's 58 degrees and sunny outside. That's wintry. I guess probably for Texas it's wintry. Robert says, after the stream, you might want to go ahead and let the iPad update finish. Looks good on this side. Awesome. I am glad to hear that. I will. I just wanted it to stop what it was doing so I could get on with this. But yeah, when we're done, I'll go back and let this thing fully update. Brian says, I cannot stay today. I'll have to catch the replay. Take care, y'all. Until next week. Well, right on, Brian. I'm glad you were able to stop in for a second and say hi. Hope you have a great remainder to your day. And tell everyone hello. For us. From us to you. Take care, man. Paul says, bye, Brian. Neptunes, what part of Texas, Paul? And Paul's in the Dallas area. Yeah, we got Texas representing today. Neptunes is east of Houston. Right on. So, Roshan says, good night from India. Well, good night. Hope everything is going awesome. Cool. So what are you guys working on? Let me know. What is on your bench? Or your table? Or your floor? Or whatever you're using to work on stuff? What sort of things are you working on this week? I'm working on this cup of coffee. It's quite tasty. No, I got a handful of things kind of in the works right now. Just finished up the another little display piece for the upcoming guitar show next month. Wow, it's like a month and a half away. It's getting close. So just finished that up. That'll be in a video coming out in a week or so. Just another little display item, some QR codes and stuff to give people something to do while they're perusing the guitar show. And I have started in my bench back here behind me is a disaster. with parts and pieces and measuring instruments. And yeah, because I've started in on the next. Actually, it's this way. It's going to be a righty. It is going to be, well, a new build. I think I mentioned it to you guys. Cigar box. So putting this guy together so I can have it ready to go for the guitar show. I should have it done well in time for that. But yeah, I got the neck. Before it got cold and nasty yesterday, I finished getting the kind of the body, the neck block thing assembly all glued up. And next up, I'm going to use the table saw. I gotta make this like a notch off the top, so that when it's in the, let's see if I can do this here without breaking this box. So this guy is going to fit in here, like so. Ooh, don't break it. It's kind of hard to do while holding it in my hand. So I need to cut a relief in here so that the neck sits a little bit, just a little proud of the top, so that when I glue the fretboard on, everything will be the right height. So the block is all assembled. Once I get that notched, then I will finish cutting the neck pocket. I don't know what you call it on these things. But yeah, slowly getting everything pieced together. It's going to be cool. The fun part about a project like this, I think for me, is that, you know, nothing's really the same. When you build like a solid body guitar, you know, your templates are pretty much standard and they don't change much. But on a project like this, you know, a lot of these boxes, they're always different dimensions. You know, they're made out of different thicknesses of material, they're different depths, they're different widths, so nothing is really standard. So kind of blocking these out as we go is kind of a one-off project, and I kind of like that, because you don't get the, I don't want to say monotony, but it's none of them are the same. So everyone has their own set of challenges and yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, working on this. Don't know how much I'm going to get done on this today. Might be able to get this notched out. Of course, you know, schools are closed and all that today. So yeah, I got some inside stuff to work on, some editing and that. But if I don't get back to this for a day or so, yeah, it'll be all right. But that is what I'm working on. Little 3-string. It's gonna be cool. Okay, let's see. I'm getting caught back up with you guys here. Don't worry. Robert says, here in Oklahoma, where I am, it's currently 46, feels like 35, with a 15-mile-an-hour wind. We probably got, I don't know what the wind is, honestly. 20, 25, maybe more? I don't know. Paul says, special orders, 3 this week, and updating, replacing older tools, new joiner, planer, and drill press. Nice. New tools. I've seen some of the ones you've been posting, and yeah, that the Helix head seems like it's going to be a pretty cool thing. So that's awesome. Let's see here. Paul Richards, what's up, man? Paul says, nothing but fabric tops here for the next few projects. Any acoustics in the future for you? Paul from Richards Custom Guitars, right on. What's up, man? I do have some acoustics in the future, yes. I am right now. I'm preparing, getting some things together for an upcoming guitar show up in Denver, Colorado, the end of March. So I'm kind of getting some stuff wrapped up for that. This little 3-string build is one of them. I'm going to take that up there to the show, as well as some of my 6 strings. Once I get everything in order for this show. I will be jumping back in on possibly 2 acoustics. So, yes, I will be doing some more. I'm going to take all of the things that I've learned doing the first one and put it to good use, hopefully, and get started on the next ones. I need to build a side bender, which I've been very slowly working on the plans for that. So that'll probably be the first thing before I really even get started on the builds. I'm going to build this side bender. I've got the mold. I built the mold when I built the acoustic last year. The mold and the bending form. I've got all that done. I just need to. I want to build my own bender. So that'll be one of the first projects. Once I get this build and a couple little things done, but absolutely I will be doing some more. I need to get another set of back and sides ordered. One of the guitars I want to build, I don't know how many of you guys have seen them, but those baritone acoustics with the 8-string baritones, where the D and the G string are in pairs like a 12-string. I want to build one of those because I love a baritone and I love a 12-string. So I think that combination may satisfy my itch to have both. So I want to try one of those, and I'll just do a regular 6-string. So that's the plan. I'm going to get in and get some more going. So absolutely, yes, there will be some more acoustics going. Italia says, again, it's Michael Cullen, band style box. Google and you'll be amazed. That's awesome. I'm sure it's coming along fantastic. Neptune says, I'm not working on it, but flooring is going in and cabinet doors are going on. Nice. Right on. Right on. Gina says, it's going to be my laptop in a minute. I need to create a bathymetric map of the reservoirs. Then I get to finish a project for a new RV lot. I don't know what bathymetric is. Is that like when you get metrics from your time taking a bath? And I have no idea. What is a bathymetric? I've never even heard that term. Robert says to Paul, sounds good. Neptune says to Gina, sounds like fun. Honestly, I would like to be able to do things like that. Bathymetrics? Well, that's easy. You just start a timer when you take a bath. Paul says, the helix head on joiner is great. Still waiting on one for the planer. I've thought about upgrading my joiner to a helix head. They're expensive, but from everything I can tell, they're 100% worth the cost. I have not personally used, I don't even think I've used someone else's with a helix head. I don't think I have. But that is one tool that I really feel like I might want to upgrade to the helix head. My joiner has the three straight knives, and those things are just, I mean, they work okay when they're sharp, but I don't know, there's just something that's kind of a pain about it. Yeah, I have been considering upgrading that. They make a kit for my particular joiner. I might, one of these days, maybe that's a thing for this year, just to replace that. Because I do not enjoy changing and adjusting those joiner knives. Mine actually is in need of a tune-up right now, and I just keep putting it off. I used the joiner yesterday, and one of the blades has a chip I can see, and I just... I think a joiner, helical, would be pretty nice. Watch and Learn, Thomas is here. Watch and Learn says, good morning, Jeff. Good morning, man. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? It's a little wintry up here this morning. And Sempak and Rick is here. Rick says, good morning, everyone. Rick, good morning to you. And KK says, greetings from Europe. KK's here and Grease is here. Right on. I wish you all well, brother. Let's see. I have time today to watch the show and certainly get my lessons from all of you. Time is 18:20. I have to count that. 6:20. Right on, man. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're able to stop in and hang out for a bit. I hope you're doing great. Paul says, you're forcing me to jump ship and build an acoustic this year. It's a welcome push, though. Loved your results. Right on, Paul. Well, thank you. And even more so, I am glad that maybe I could have a little bit of push for you to build one. It's definitely that's definitely what I needed. Thomas is here, watch and learn. He's the one who encouraged me and challenged me to do it last year. And Thomas, I am thankful, man. Thank you for encouraging me to do that. So much stuff that I was able to learn during that whole process. Yes, it took me a long time, but so worth it. So worth it. So Paul, go for it, man. Robert says to Paul, Helix head for the joiner and planer are the way to go. I believe I don't have either machine, but from what I've seen and read, they make a smoother cut. Yeah, that's what smoother cut and quieter cut. My joiner is, it's just a 6-inch joiner. It is so loud. It's like a planer. My little 12 and a half inch planer, I think it is. That thing's ridiculously loud. I hardly ever use it because it doesn't work great. It's an inexpensive one. It has a ton of snipe on the ends, and it's super loud. But yeah, the joiner, both of those tools with the straight blades, I just think, the helical cutters are. Everybody says that they're quieter. Let's see. Robert says, "Oops, lost sound." Oh, yeah, really? Watch and learn. Thomas says, "I want to do an OM 12 string." That's what I've been wanting to do. But I think, I don't know if you were in when I mentioned it, that I want to build. One of my next ones is going to be a baritone, but I'm going to do an 8-string baritone. At least I'm going to attempt an 8-string baritone with the 2 center strings paired, like a 12-string. So you still get that 12-string shimmer, but it's a longer scale length, for a baritone, so it gets tuned B to B, standard sort of B to B. And yeah, I from what I've seen and heard, they just sound incredible. I've loved a baritone for quite a long time anyway. I have a solid body baritone, electric baritone, and it's awesome. So I think the acoustic is going to be a fun one. Gina says to Neptune, "It's fun. This is my first ever since college." Robert says, "I think it may be on my end. Not sure what happened. I restarted the stream, and the advert had no sound either." Oh, interesting. I was going to try, speaking of sound, recently I got a lapel mic, like a wireless deal. I was going to try that today, but I thought, yeah, not going to yet, just in case internet stuff, I don't know. But I will be using that here shortly, probably. Paul says, "I couldn't upgrade my joiner to Helix. No one made one, so I bought a new joiner from Grizzly and sold my old jointer." There you go. If you can't upgrade it, replace it. Harry Dude! What's up, man? Harry Dude says, "What's up?" Hello, everyone. How's it going, man? How's everything in Australia? Robert says, "I'll try a restart." Maybe you have an update, like this silly iPad did. Gina says, "A bathymetric map shows the elevations below water." Interesting. Robert says, "Sound is back." Excellent. KK says to Gina, "It's a Greek word, bathymeter." because we measure the depth on the seabed. Interesting. Tal just says, I was on Steve Ramsey's first weekend woodworker course, and he also had once a week this sort of chat where we could ask him everything. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I remember when he was doing that weekend woodworker course. Yeah, and that's that's the goal for this live, really, for us to just hang out and ask kind of Q&A, and we can brainstorm different issues that you might be having with your project, and just kind of talk about stuff and really just hang out together and yeah, and it's so far it's been awesome, and I look forward to these every time for that exact reason. I love to hear what you guys are working on and what kind of challenges and projects and things, and it's awesome. It is an open conversation. Paul says, joiner is quieter and very smooth finish. Also, no sensation of pulling, tearing on the wood. That's cool. When I was, I've already sliced it up. When I was working on this yesterday, I had to run, well, before I cut and glued everything up, I did have to make some passes on the joiner, just to make sure you got square edges and things. And, if you've ever ran stuff on a joiner, when you get the grain direction wrong and you're passing it through, you can hear that tear out. And, you flip it around, you run it the other way. Even though I thought I had the grain direction the right way, one of the passes was absolutely not, and I got some nasty tear out. Well, I've since removed it, but yeah. KK says, Gina, right on. Right on. Robert says, yeah, if the blade already has a chip in it, I think instead of fixing the current setup, save for the helix head and just switch it out. That's what I was thinking. I didn't realize there was a chip. It may have just occurred yesterday when I said that, I got some really bad tear out. I'm wondering if it didn't happen at about that time, because this is hard maple, so it is pretty hard. I don't know if it had happened before. I hadn't noticed. You know how it leaves like a little line, when there's a chip. I don't know if that had happened, if that was already there. Don't recall it being there before, so it may have happened yesterday when I ran one of these pieces the wrong direction. But I don't know. But nonetheless, there is a chip in one of them because it was leaving that telltale line. So I might have to go back on and price the helix and see what that was again. Watch and Learn says, if you do a baritone and increase the body size, you don't necessarily want to extend the scale length. I do not think I'm going to increase the body size. I think I want to try an OM baritone, an OM style. I may adjust the size of the bracing just a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to increase the body size. I think I will increase the scale length to make it baritone scale length. 27 inches is roughly what I'm finding for a baritone acoustic, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Not completely set in stone yet, but I have been kind of pre-planning and trying to figure out everything, and I think that's all I will do. Same OM body size, because that size just feels good, and I like the curves and the shape and all that. So I think I will just basically build it exactly the same. I will just reconfigure the neck to be a 27-inch scale length. I'll go from the bridge location and extend it to where it needs to be, I think. Gina says, KK, oh cool, I didn't know that. Senpakin says, hey Jeff, have you ever routed out a binding before? Mine went less than great, in my opinion. I thought I'd start over. I have done binding on several guitars, and honestly, I don't want to say this out loud necessarily, but honestly, I haven't had an issue. What sort of issue did you have when you were routing it? maybe we can try to work through it here, live on TV. KK said, Gina, woo, applause. Tadja says, have you thought of a similar course as Steve Ramsey did? Yes, I have. I've been considering different ideas necessarily. Nothing is in the works at the moment, but I have thought about that. Maybe some sort of a I don't know, guitar building course or something like that. But it's been something I've thought about. But that's about as far as it's gone. I think it would be cool. Neptune says, I had an update on my phone a couple weeks ago, and it's been going nuts ever since. Like it's possessed. That's kind of what the iPad did. Is it Apple or Android? Because this is the only Apple device that is allowed in our home. And I think I've even said before why I have this, because it wouldn't have been my first choice at the moment, but so far it's been working fine. But yeah, that weird update this morning on this thing, and it just kind of sat there. It downloaded the update, and then it just said preparing update, and the little thing was preparing for like 10 minutes. Paul says, love the smaller chips the jointer is now making. No more clogging up the dust collection. Oh, that would be cool too. Yeah, sometimes, you ever done it on, planed or jointed a wider board with a straight knife? You get those like long, those really long chips. And I don't know how many times I've plugged the jointer up. Even with the dust collection, you get the big like rat's nest deal in there. I've had to safely, with it unplugged, reach up in the dust port and like dig all that stuff out of there, and it's like a giant heap that comes out. So yeah, I could see the advantage just for that reason. Gina says to KK, what's the weather there? Does it ever snow? Yeah, that would be interesting. Does it snow there? Do you get snow in Greece? Paul says, you have the Apple device because you are slowly becoming another Apple clone. No. No. No, the only reason I have this iPad was because when I got it, I was playing in a cover band, and we used wireless, or we used in-ear monitors, which is awesome. If you're a musician and you've never used in-ear monitors, fantastic. But the mixing board that we used you're able to control your mix wirelessly, so you could customize your own in-ear mix. But at the time, the app was only available on Apple, so that's the only reason that I bought the iPad. Now it's available, I believe, on both, but when I bought this, it wasn't, so it's the only reason I have an iPad. Otherwise, I would have got just an Android tablet. But yeah, if you're a gigging musician, check out in-ear monitors. Oh, they're so cool. It's so awesome to be able to do your own mix. This is not an audio channel by any means, but man, I'll tell you what, it is it is a game changer, I will tell you. And you don't have like the stage monitors blasting, and then before in-ears, my stage monitor was my amp behind me, so you had to crank that up. Plus you got the stage monitors, and you left there, and that's probably why I can't hear very well anymore, but in-ear monitors, the way to go. Neptune says, Android. I don't allow Apple in the house either. I don't have any problem with Apple, honestly. Like, I'll talk crap a little bit, but this iPad has been, honestly, it's getting pretty old. I don't know how old it is. Maybe 6, 7 years old, maybe. And it just works. It works fine. And, I don't really use it for anything other than this and, watching some YouTube videos. And really, that's about it. Robert says, I really want to finish the computer desk I started last fall. Weather has not been cooperating, and since I don't have a shop yet, it limits me on where I can work outside, when I can work outside. Yeah, I totally get that. You know, winter is challenging for, I would say, even those of us that do have a shop, even if it's a small shop. You know, I constantly have to remember not to leave glue and stuff out here. Which, yeah, as soon as I said that, I didn't leave it out here last night. That's good. It's just a challenge, right? Yesterday, I was trying to hurry and get everything glued up while I had it warm in here and it was sort of warm outside, because I knew today was going to be cold and nasty. So I wanted to get everything, make sure everything had plenty of time to dry, which thankfully I did. But you got to plan ahead. It's not like, you know, in the, you know, late spring, summer, early fall, when it doesn't really matter. You know, you can just have all your glues out here and you don't have to worry about things freezing, and you don't have to worry about, you know, the time of day when you're getting things glued. And it's, yeah. Now, and this is a challenge, like I said, for those of us with smaller shops, or not smaller shops, but just shops in general, especially if you're like me and you don't have any sort of climate control necessarily. Mine is, I turn the heat on when I come out here, I turn it off when I leave, and it gets cold, cold, cold overnight. So yeah, I totally get it, but spring is near, Robert. Spring is near. That's what I keep telling myself. Well, let's see. Excuse me. Some coffee. KK says, Gina, yes, it snowed in many parts of the country, but at this time, in many places, the temperature has risen and there is sun all day. However, it's very cold in the morning. Interesting. Sempakin says, I didn't do a deep enough channel, it seems. I left too much binding sticking out, and after scraping, it's too thin for my liking. So I wondered if it could be routed out and start again. Yes, I don't see why not. As long as you haven't changed your setup, you know, like you have the same bearings and all of that on your router bit, I don't see any reason why you couldn't. You know, as long as everything's nice and flat on the top, you know, your binding is not sticking up to keep the top of the instrument from, unless you pulled it off. As long as it sits down flat, you just raise the height of your bit a little bit and reroute it, and your depth and everything should be exactly the same. And I don't really see any issue. What I would say, and you probably did this, I was gonna, you know, grab a scrap piece. You know, make sure you do a test cut. I've even glued binding in my test piece just to make sure. You know, even if you took a little scrap and you just you zipped the binding channel in there, take a little piece of binding, tape it in place, glue it down, and just make sure that it sits where you want it to sit. I did have trouble on my acoustic a little bit, but it wasn't where I didn't go. It went plenty deep into the side, but I should have gone a little bit farther in. I should have made it the channel a little wider. Some of the binding, I think I mentioned it in the video, I had to sand more than I anticipated. Even though I tested everything and I felt very comfortable with my depth, for some reason, once I actually had the binding glued in, it didn't quite sit in as far as I wanted. So I can't stress enough the importance of doing a test cut. Like I said, you probably did that, but I would, yeah, I would feel comfortable going back in and rerouting the binding channel, assuming that you're using the exact same bearing so that you get the same size. It just needs to go taller. Of course, I guess if you need to go a little bit wider, you swap out your bearing to a smaller one and, you know, just route away. But I don't see why you can't do that. Go for it. It will work. Oh man, I'm getting caught back up here. Gina says, nice. Greece is on my top list of places to visit. Greece would be cool. Neptune says, my bucket list place to visit is Australia. That's another one I would like to go to. Harry Dude says, I only want iPad for the same reason. Wireless mixer. Mine's a Mackie and now has Android support. Yeah, same kind of deal. The board that we were using was the PreSonus... Oh, what is that called? Oh, I can't think of the name of it now. The popular PreSonus Studio Live, I believe it was. It was the Studio Live 24 channel, I think. Maybe it was the 32. I think it was the 24. The Studio Live 24 channel. It has all the wireless stuff, and man, what a cool board! And if I was going to buy one myself, it would be one of those because that was just so awesome. You know, it works with you know, their Studio Live software and all that, and there's so much you can do wirelessly. Now, you know, to be able to, it is awesome to be able to be playing a gig and go, man, I need a little bit more of the I can't quite hear my guitar. So you just reached over to your iPad and you whoop and you bring up the level. Mine was set up so I could actually run the entire board. You know, I think you just switched a page. You scrolled over and you could run the entire board, and I could do front of house through the iPad if I needed to while in the middle of a song. Or I could adjust my mix, or I was set up so I could adjust everybody's mixes. If, you know, if the bass player said, hey, I need a little more, whatever, and I could just whoop and adjust it. And man, it was so cool. Such a game changer for live sound, I think. I'll have to look at those Mackie ones too, because that would be pretty cool. Gina says, probably why you can't hear? What? Bobby Sharp says, what's up, fellas? Bobby, what's going on, man? How have you been? Gina says, Australia and New Zealand are on my list too. KK says to Gina, we're waiting for you in Thessaloniki. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Thessaloniki. Come with my good friend Jeff and your families. We'll have a big house and the good ones can fit in, as our ancients say. Oh, that's cool. And the good ones can fit in. That's cool. Well, my friend, if we ever find ourselves heading to Greece, I will be sure to let you know. Now, Gina says I'll start packing. Paul says, had to redo my shop electrical this past weekend. Mini split, blew a breaker, and needed updating. So went ahead and swapped out several from 15 amp to 20 amp. Cool. Did you have to, was your wiring already good for 20 amp? Or did you have to like rewire a bunch of stuff? Robert says, I started out on Apple computers and used to love them. I switched to PC when I went from being an artist illustrator to being a computer tech at work. I have PCs and an Android now. Yeah, we're all PC and Android and one iPad. But the first computer I ever used, probably like a lot of us back then, was an Apple. I think it was that 2E. Remember that 2E? I think that's what it was. Playing Castle Wolfenstein. That was like the coolest computer game ever. Raise your hand if you've ever played that. And if you haven't, there is a, I can't remember the website, there, but they have all these older games ported, and you can go on there and play Castle Wolfenstein, and it looks exactly like I remember it, and it's so cool. Rick says, we'll pull it off. I did do the test, seemed okay. I think I need the next smallest bearings. Okay, so you need to go a little deeper in, right? So yes, you would need a smaller bearing. You want just a sliver, you know, to be able to catch. You know, as little as you can get it to stick out. I don't even know how to illustrate this. Here, let's do this. So, if this is your guitar body side, and this is your binding, right? You want it to just stick out I can't do this one-handed. You know, you want it to just stick out. I can't even hold this so you can see. The tiniest bit so that you can still feel it. But if it sticks out more than a sliver, you probably should go to the next deeper bearing, but tests. And also be careful if you have to bend it. Make sure if you heat it up with a heat gun or something, don't heat it too much because it can actually, especially with a plastic binding. Obviously, a wood binding is not necessarily going to do that, but plastic binding, it can flex and like stretch a little bit, and it gets a little bit thinner. So just be careful that that's not what's going on either. Paul says, been to 23 countries and 46 states, most while in the military. I have been I've been to Canada, of course the U.S., and Mexico once. And that's the only 3 countries I've ever been to. I've not been outside of North America. KK says, Paul, lucky you. Robert says to Paul, moved around a bit, did you? My father was in construction when I was growing up, and we moved a lot as well, but not as much as you did. Well, yeah, when you're in the military, you kind of, sometimes you're all over the place. Harry Dude says, my whole band is on in-ears and control their own mixes. I also mix front of house while playing. Isn't that, man, it's so cool to be able to do that. It's so much nicer than being able to, than having to like, turn around or walk over to the board and like make whatever change. It's just so cool to be like in the middle of a song even. Just, whoop, whoop, make whatever change you need. It's so convenient. Harry Dude says, if you ever make it to us, oh, I'm choking. Excuse me. If you ever make it to Australia, we have to catch up in person. Yes. If I ever go to another country, somebody's going to be there that I'm going to want to meet with, and that's just so cool. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago, the world tour. Paul says, my sister. My sister just to date John Carmack of Wolfenstein Dune fame. Oh, used to date. Oh, really? Wow, that's cool. Sorry, it took me a minute to figure that out. Used to get the games for free. Oh, man. Wolfenstein was so cool. The old ones, not the newer ones, where they started adding some of the color graphics. I'm talking about the black and green. That was the only colors on the screen. Those are the ones that I remember playing, like, I don't know, 12, 10, whenever that came out. 10 years old, maybe? I don't know, 12. They were so fun. Let's see. Paul says it was fun. So Rick sent back and says the fitment went fine, but the router will handle the binding without chipping. It's plastic, right? You're using plastic binding? I would try to pull it out, though. If it was me, I would see if I could pull that thing out of there just to get it out of the way. But if you can't, I don't. Here's a thought, and I'm just thinking on the go here. Before you go to the next smaller bearing, maybe put the larger one on and route that out of there and work your way down. That way you can route that binding back out of there. If for some reason you can't pull it off, pull it out, remove it. I think that's what I would try. I would progressively just route it out of there. And yeah, again, if it is plastic binding, I don't see any problem. I might try it in several passes, though, just so it doesn't. I've never done it, though, so just a word of caution. I've never tried to route the plastic binding back out. But I would think if you went with, say, a larger bearing first, just to take a little shred off, you could route it out in passes. That way you hopefully eliminate any risk of it like melting to the bit and balling up and making a mess. I don't know for a fact if it would do that, but that would probably be what I would try. I would just go to a larger bearing, make a pass, maybe go to the bearing you have, make a pass, then go to whatever size you want to land on final and make another pass. I think that's what I would try. Robert says, I liked playing Wolfenstein, and at first it was fine. After playing for a while, it started affecting me. I would break out in a cold sweat and get dizzy. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I need to go back on one of these days and like find that website that has that old game on there and play it for a little bit. It's kind of fun, like nostalgic. Neptune says, Texas is another country. Just ask Paul. Robert says, Paul, it's cool about your travels. Paul said we set up a small LAN network on last sub I was on and used to play Doom and Warcraft. Not World of Warcraft, when we were off watch. Yeah, remember that? Like, I never did it, but I remember people would have those LAN parties, and everyone would haul their PC around and... Robert says, countries I've been to are the USA, Mexico, and Philippines. Right on. Rick says, yes, it's plastic. Yeah, I think I would try that, Rick. I think I would just swap out bearings, work my way down, route that back out of there in sections. If you can't just grab a hold of one side with some pliers or something and pull it off. Paul says to Neptune's, not the U.S., Texas and its 49 wannabes. Robert says, went to the Philippines to marry my ex-wife. Wish it would have worked out, but it didn't. Well, sorry, Robert. Bobby says, so what you got planned for the CNC? Guitars? Working. I'm still fine-tuning. Actually, I haven't worked on it in several days. Working on finishing the model for my bass guitar that I want to do, and also doing the model for my acoustic guitar sidebender. I'm going to cut that out on the CNC. But really, guitars is what I got planned. Fine-tuning some things on the model. And then I got to get into this part I'm not 100% looking forward to, but I got to convert my existing designs to digital, which, man, not excited about that, but I got to do it. So I'm starting with a brand new design for bass guitar. I've designed it completely from scratch on the computer. That'll be what I start cutting on the CNC for guitars. But then I'm going to convert my electric models over to digital, and yeah, we'll just get that thing rolling. Let's see. Gina says, oh, Haley here. Hello, all. Hi, Haley. Good morning, kiddo. Not that I didn't see you earlier, but... let's see. Bobby says, Fusion 360, it's different, but way more useful. Yes, that is what I'm using. I'm using Fusion 360 for everything. And, yeah. Quite the learning curve, especially not being familiar with any sort of digital CAD-type programs. But I feel fairly comfortable in it now. Am I an expert? I would say no. But I try to design almost everything I can now in Fusion, even if it's something that I don't intend to use any sort of 3D printing or the CNC or anything. A lot of times now I find myself drawing it up there first just so I can have an idea of dimensions and stuff. And every single thing that I design seems to have its own unique challenge. It's something that I take out of it, even if it's just a simple simple drawing. I always find that I learn something by doing that. So it's just through repetition, drawing something up, drawing something up, drawing something up. You learn so much more. At least I do. KK says, I'm glad some of you guys play RPG or horror war games. My son and I have finished the entire series of Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Silent Hill, Ghost Recon. This show unites us in many things. It does, doesn't it? I don't play a whole lot of video games anymore, but I used to. I used to play them a lot, and I love the Resident Evil series. I've not played any of the new releases, but even from the very first Resident Evil on, what was that on? PlayStation, I think, just regular PlayStation, or now they call it PS1 or something. I don't know. It was such a cool series, and I've played a bunch of them on the original, the PS2. I think about PS3 I kind of started getting out of it a little bit. But yeah, such a cool series. I've not played, oh, the Tomb Raider series were good too. But I don't think I've played Silent Hill or Ghost Recon. Oh, you know what? I think I have done Ghost Recon. But it's been years and years. But yeah, I always enjoy those. Neptune says, "Hi Haley, hope you're having a great day." Yeah, great snow day. The only drag for this snow day is they've had quite a few snow days this year already, so in an effort to not have to extend the school year, this time they've sent home some work packets, just some work that they have to work through today and be able to turn in tomorrow if they go back tomorrow. I don't think they're going back tomorrow, but that's my prediction. Dastardly Dave! Dave says, "Sup, all a little late." No worries, man. We still got some coffee left. Cheers. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Rick says, "Sorry for my lame promo for my son." Huh? Did I miss something? I didn't see any lame promo. What did I miss, Rick? Did I skip a comment or something? If I did, sorry about that. Neptune says, "Hey Dave." Rick says, "Hit the thumbs up, people." Yeah, right on. If you're on here and you're enjoying these, hit that thumbs up button. Dastardly Dave says, "Hey Neptunes." Oh, Neptune says, "My daughter's off all week. Not sure why. Interesting." KK says, "Yes, that's right, Jeff. On PlayStation, it was 1. After years, we got to 5. The old ones were more beautiful, like classics. Today, they just have amazing graphics." That's what I've seen. Again, like I said, I don't play them too much anymore. I don't even have, like, the latest console we have is a PS3. And that really just gets used for, like, as a DVD player when we need a DVD player. I don't think I've played any of the newer games after that. But I've seen, like, trailers and stuff for some of the games, and the graphics look incredible. Oh, another series that I absolutely really enjoyed playing was the God of War series. Have you ever played those? Man, those were cool. Sorry, I'm scrolling. Rick said I missed a comment, and I surely didn't see it. Rick says I passed him by. Rick, I'm sorry, dude. The only ones I saw were about the binding. So my apologies. I didn't mean to skip over you there. Robert says, "KK currently playing Raid, Shadow Legend, have played Sniper Elite, 3 different versions, Skyrim, a few space-type games." Bobby says, "That's great practice. Doing is learning." Yeah. I was a huge SketchUp user, and I converted all my SketchUp stuff to Fusion. I tried many years ago to get into SketchUp, and I, at the time, just couldn't grasp it. I didn't spend enough time to really get comfortable. I mean, I did a few drawings here and there in SketchUp, and they turned out decent. But it was one of those things that I just didn't continue using. So every time I went back into there, I felt like I had to relearn it. So I kind of got a little disgusted. But that's why this time with Fusion, I'm trying to be more diligent in using it. Paul says, "My daughter stays off think it's a millennial thing. Oh, you meant school. Yeah, Rick says he passed me by. KK says, Robert R. Yeah. Robert says, thanks for the reminder for the thumbs up. Neptune says, mine's asleep all day. Mine's up. Mine's not. Mine's up working on schoolwork. Senpakin says, you skipped me twice. Rick, I don't know what's going on. I swear I didn't see whatever I skipped. But that was absolutely unintentional. All I've seen were the comments about the binding. I didn't see anything other than that. I mean, I'm scrolling up right now, Rick. Bear with me. I'm like all the way almost to the beginning. Yeah, I've gone from where you said good morning everyone at the beginning, and there's nothing in there that's not about the binding. So my apologies. I don't know why that would be. Robert says, my gaming is on the computer. I never could get the hang of the controllers. Gina says, I loved SketchUp. Yeah, I remember you doing all kinds of stuff in SketchUp. Robert says, I used to really like Halo. Have I played Halo? Is that the one with like the big robot dude or whatever he is? I can't remember. So, I want to throw something out to you guys. Let me see if I can find this. So, have you guys ever heard of, let's see, an app called Any Question? Have you guys ever heard of that? It's basically, I was going to try to show, but it doesn't, I don't think this is going to work. There's a new app, I guess, I don't know, last year I think it came out. There's an app called Any Question where you can go on there and ask a whole bunch of what the app is calling experts. You can go on and ask questions, and they do a video reply. Like I said, I was going to try to show it, but now I have been invited to be on that app. They're starting a woodworking category. It's not quite open yet because they need a couple more people, but I want to let you guys know that I'm on there, and maybe if you're interested, go check it out. I don't know quite all of the details yet. I think they kind of have like different tiers. Like you could get like a paid tier, and I'm pretty sure there's a free tier. But you can go on and ask all these experts. I use that in quotes because that's what they're calling me. But there's all different categories, you know, for health and fitness and all kinds of stuff. But go check it out if you haven't heard of it. It seems kind of cool. You know, I'm still kind of getting things figured out and trying to get some questions and things posted over there. But you know, it's just something new I'm kind of playing around with. It's kind of like shorts, but you're answering questions. But if you're interested, go over there. The app is Any Question, and you can go check it out. And yeah, maybe I'll post on the Facebook page like a link to my thing if you guys want to have a look at it. So far, it's been kind of fun. I just like questions get posted, and you just do a little video reply, little selfie reply thing, and yeah, it's kind of neat. I've been having a little bit of fun, just kind of going through and answering questions. But as soon as they get some more people in the woodworking area, they're going to open that category up as well. So if you or someone you know are interested in like being an expert on there, let me know. Expert. Oh, let's see. Neptune says, Jeff, are you set to live chat or top chat? I don't know. Let's see, what does this say? Oh. is set to top chat. I wonder if that's why. Well, crap. How much did I miss? I wonder if that's why, Rick. Now I'm on live chat. I didn't even know that was a thing. I wonder how many times that's happened. Neptunes? Thank you, man. You may have solved the problem. So yeah, that may have been it. Rick? Sorry. I'm going to scroll back up and see if anything shows up now. But no, it's not. Nothing. I got nothing. But now I know that I need to check that. See, I learn something every day. Yes, I am on live chat. Hair Dude said, SketchUp hurt my head. I use Tinkercad or OpenSCAD. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt with SketchUp. Again, I feel like it was probably because I didn't use it enough, though. Rick says, LOL, maybe because I put a website up on here. Yeah, I don't think it'll let you post... Well, it won't let you post a link. I don't believe. Rick says, I posted my referral twice, 2 or 3 times. Oh. Hair Dude says, I think YouTube blocks links unless you have a little spanner next to your name on these live streams. Rick says, I see Neptunes and Genus. Yes, they are admins for the lives, so they have the ability to post links and sites and also block people if someone comes in and causes a ruckus. Which, you know what? I think that's happened maybe once or twice. So thank you guys for being awesome and not coming on here and giving me hassle. Rick says, thanks, Harry Dude. Robert says, Halo was about fighting space aliens with Master Chief. Yes, the Master Chief dude. Rick says, how do I get a spanner? Neptune says, yes, that's why. KK says, Robert, Gina, Neptunes, Harry Dude, Sam Pag and Paul. I wish you all the best. Love from Greece, KK. Sorry if I forgot some. No worries, my friend. Have an awesome afternoon, evening, and take care in Greece. Tell everyone hello from me to you. Robert says, I've had problems in both the live chat and in the comments below when trying to put in a website in the chat or comments. For some reason, they fail to post. I think that's YouTube filtering stuff. Just, so you can't spam stuff. Less than ideal stuff. Let's see. Paul says, take care, KK. Cheers, KK. Right on. KK Hair Dude. Robert says, KK, have a good one. Stay safe and healthy. Neptune says, later, everyone. Have a great day. Are you out of here, man? Neptune says, yes, you have to be an admin. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, only if you have the blue. I think you can... No, I don't think you can. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that. Alrighty, let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, we're a quarter after. Nice. So, yeah, I guess that being said, we are past the hour, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here and roll back inside and see what's going on and see how the schoolwork is going. See if I got to put on my school teacher hat. Get this snow day work wrapped up so that we don't have to worry about it. And we'll see if I can get back to this today. That's the entire body for the cigar box. But right on, guys. Harry Dude says I got to pack up and go home and fall down somewhere soft. Don't fall down somewhere soft on the way. Wait till you get home. Paul says take care. Have a great week. So I'm packing okay. Well, have a great day, everyone. Gina says later all. Right on, guys. Thanks a lot so much. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. new video coming out this weekend. And if you're looking for something to browse, check out the app, Any Question, and see if it's something about, something you might want to check out. And you might find this mug on there. Rick says, thanks for the help, Jeff. Right on, man. Neptunes, no comment, Harry. Anyway, that being said, let's wrap this up, guys. I hope you have an awesome week. Get out in your shops, your workspace, your kitchen table, whatever it is. Build something cool. Doesn't matter what it is. Make something with your own two hands. And, yeah. New video this weekend. Stay safe, stay well, and stay warm if you're in this snowy mess that we're having right now. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys.